Is Deadpool and Wolverine cameo-filled slop or MCU-saving peak? Let's get into it. Deadpool and Wolverine is a movie with a lot riding on its shoulders. The multiverse saga for the MCU has been met with mixed reception, to say the least. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on that, check out my Deadpool predictions video. And between mixed critical reviews on projects as of late and so-so box office numbers, Deadpool 3 was looking to be an important moment for the franchise's history. Happy to report that the movie is awesome. I won't be talking any spoilers here, so don't worry about that, but I figured I'd give you my brief overview of what I loved about the movie. Something I talked about in my Deadpool 3 predictions video was that I've always liked how much heart these movies have despite how crass they are. And Deadpool 3 not only continues that, but I would say is probably the best example of it in the Deadpool franchise up to this point. I think the MCU by its nature has a certain amount of inherent sentimentality to it that you have to adapt to. And Ryan Reynolds, Sean Levy, and Hugh Jackman really did a great job of rising to the occasion. The movie has a ton of heart and is really, really sweet at the end of the day. This is going to be the briefest of plot overviews because even going through the story is sort of impossible to do without spoiling things, but basically, Deadpool is at the end of his rope and unable to secure a worthwhile job when he gets recruited by the TVA, only to realize something is afoot and that it's up to him and Wolverine to save their timeline. For all the multiverse this and sacred timeline that, it's honestly a pretty simple, unlikely duo road trip movie at its core. And I think despite all the multiversal talk, boiling it down to something really simple like that really serves the movie well. And a quick note, but for my real MCU sickos out there, I know it feels like the projects as of late haven't been great at acknowledging each other, and the sense of continuity has sort of felt wishy-washy. That's something I was worried about with this movie in relation to the TVA and the events of Loki Season 2. I'll just say that it seems like everyone at Marvel HQ was in talks with each other when they were making this movie, and you don't have to have watched Season 2 of Loki, but they do acknowledge those events, and it really helps elevate the experience. It made me very, very happy that I was able to almost firmly place where this takes place in the timeline. The real strength of the movie, though, is the chemistry between Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. You watch this movie and you can tell that these two aren't just great co-workers, but great friends. And there's a trust there that I think leads to both of them not being afraid to just look stupid with one another. It really helps bring the characters to life, particularly with this Wolverine who is a bit of a loser, if I'm being frank. You'll see what I'm talking about when you watch the movie. The action sequences in this are also fantastic, by the way. This is going to sound strange, but stick with me. Sean Levy's career is filled with a lot of fun, action, family fare. Real Steel, Night at the Museum, Free Guy, etc. And so the action in this movie has an almost Amblin family blockbuster quality to it, but, you know, this time it's just filled with blood and gore. It's very cool. And I think it's led to all three Deadpool movies now, each having their own very unique action language, which is going to make revisiting them in the future even more fun. Something else that's a lot of fun are the cameos. Listen, I know it's easy to get very cynical about that word nowadays, especially when talking about superhero movies, and I don't blame you if you are one of those people. I briefly turned into one of those people when I saw The Flash. What I'll say here is that not only are they a lot of fun, they have a lot of heart to them. I feel like they were very careful about what they use and who they use, and what it ends up feeling like is a proper send-off to the Foxverse that never really got it before it fizzled out and then the Disney-Fox merger buyout happened. Listen, I am not particularly fond of a lot of those movies, but when I was watching Deadpool, I really did have to do a moment of self-reflection and realize that, hey, without those movies, we probably wouldn't have gotten things like the Avengers or Deadpool 3 or the MCU as a whole. So it was nice to see the Foxverse take its victory lap and get its send-off. I think for a certain subsection of the fan base, there will maybe be some moans and groans that this isn't setting up Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty or whatever they're going to call that movie now. But what I ended up getting out of it was a really solid buddy action flick with a ton of heart. If this is where we say bye to these guys, then wow, seriously, what a send-off. And you know what? If they decide to do more with them, which I assume they will, well, book my ticket right now. I really, really loved this movie. But hey, what did you think? Let me know in the comments. Try to keep things spoiler free for people who haven't seen the movie yet. And hey, if you like this, consider dropping a sub. Bye.